Hi, welcome to your midweek minutes for Module 9. And this week we're looking at how we manage employee benefits. And there is such a huge evolution in benefits in the workplace. And it's part of what makes human resources continually relevant, because human resources is connected to some of the most important legal issues that face organizations. These laws are continuing to shift, and trends are continuing to shift in business practices, and HR is at the forefront on that. Certainly in the area of healthcare insurance, there's been, as we all know, gigantic changes that have occurred with the passage of the Affordable Care Act. And what's interesting is these changes have been rolled out over many different years. And so HR has had time to prepare, but has had continuing challenges. And so part of that was looking at, giving insurance to employees who maybe perhaps didn't get it in the past. And there has been a management of the number of hours that employees work, with some companies like Darden and others restricting the number of hours that any one employee can have, so that they would not have to take on additional insurance costs. Coming up on the Affordable Care Act, we're going to see provisions rolled out on the Cadillac plans. These are basically fees that companies will have to pay for having insurance plans that are too generous in what they offer, or too generous is what is deemed by the government. That's why they're called a Cadillac plan. And so companies now are really looking at that, negotiating with unions and others to try and eliminate some of those features that make their plans Cadillac plans. We've seen, similar evolution in terms of pensions. In the past, pensions were largely a defined benefit. So employees would receive some portion of their salary when they retired. And those were negotiated, and an employee worked a certain amount of years, and they would know basically that they might have 50, 60, 70% of their salary when they retired. Now, we see those defined benefit pensions have largely gone out of favor, and instead we see defined contribution pensions being much more popular in terms of what companies are offering. Here, there is no guarantee what you will get when you retire, but what is defined is how much the company will contribute each year to a 401k plan, or how much they will match an employee's contributions. But what an employee has when they retire largely depends on how investments have fared in their 401k. And so educating employees about their pensions and how to be prepared has become much more important now that these defined contribution pensions are much more prevalent than your defined benefit pensions. But again, all of this is what makes HR so relevant and continually relevant, and some of this isn't necessarily perhaps the sexiest part of business, the most interesting part of business. It's not often the most central to the main function of the business. Nonetheless, it is critical to the business, because healthcare and retirement are benefits that really can influence whether you attract top talent or not. And so with the changes that are occurring in the laws and in business practices, HR needs to be on top of this, and it's part of what makes them very relevant continually to the organization. Well, we're in the end of week 9, and next week is week 10, module 10, our last week. I got most of your groups scheduled. I think there's one of your groups that hasn't scheduled. You really got to get with me. If you do have questions, please contact me on my cell phone, especially on the weekends. I am not in my office in the weekends, so that's one of the reasons I provide you my cell phone number. Of course, you can always email me, and that's connected to my smartphone also. So hope all is well. Please contact me if you have any questions. Take care. Bye now.